Welcome back. In this session, we will talk about escalating privileges. In previous sessions, we already have shown you that how we can gain access of a system, but there was no privileges. There were, we didn't, we can't drop any of the malware, we can't drop any of the virus in the system. So how we can do these things? So here is the concept of escalating privileges. Let's see this one by one. So what exactly that escalating privileges? So these privileges allows attacker to view critical or you can say the sensitive information, delete files or install malicious program. Malicious program you can say such as virus, trojans, worms, etc. etc. Now basically the privilege escalation is classified in two types. The first one is horizontal privileges and the second one is vertical privilege escalation. Now what are these escalations? So here if you can see in this picture, we do have the vertical privilege escalation and here is the horizontal privilege escalation. Now if you can observe in the horizontal escalation, these all are the systems should have the same set of escalations. It means if you hack one of the system, you can easily hack all these systems. So this is what the horizontal privilege escalation, in which all the devices having set same type of privileges, you can say, or what I can say, it refers to acquiring the same level of privileges that already has been granted, but assuming the identity of another user with similar privileges, right? So it is having the similar privileges but the different username, right? I hope you got this concept. These all have the same privilege things but having the different user. Now what is it in the vertical one? So in the vertical one you can get the access of the AD. Actually you can get the access of the admin, through which having the different set of privilege escalations, but you can get those things in vertical privilege escalation. So it refers to gaining higher privileges than the existing, right? So if you got the access of AD, obviously it's a very higher privilege escalation. If you got the access of the root, right? So it's a very higher, because from here you can drop anything, whatever you want. You can drop malware, right? You can drop virus. There might be you can try to hack other systems as well from there. So there is a lot of things in that. I believe this concept is very clear between vertical and horizontal privilege escalation. Now, horizontal privilege escalation. Okay, we already have discussed this. This is the same thing. You can just read out these things if you want. That will be that will give you a much bigger idea to understand these things. The vertical privilege escalation. We have written write these things for you just to read out. Now, privilege escalation using DLL hijacking. Now, what is the DLL? So DLL stands for, guys, dynamic link libraries. So whenever you will see if there is some executable files having extension .dll, right? So that DLL is a dynamic link libraries. So in Windows operating system, most of the applications search for DLL in directories instead of using fully qualified path, right? I hope you understand this one, that what exactly that DLL and what it stands for. Now, what exactly we can do with the help of DLL hijacking? So, if attackers can place a malicious DLL in application directory, it will execute it in the place of real DLL, right? So, where we placed it in the application directory. So, this is what a DLL hijacking. So for example, you can go through okay, this one is the different one. If you can see the privilege escalation by exploiting vulnerabilities. So that is quite very simple. We already have talked about this one database and all these things. So you can go through these things. That is very important, and from here you can get to know that how actually we can use the we can have a privilege escalation by these vulnerabilities. Now, privilege escalation using dylib hijacking. Now, dylib, what is that? It's a dynamic library. Dylib is a dynamic library. Now, in the same thing in O operating system, let's say X application, while loading an external dynamic library, the loader searches for dynamic library in multiple directory, right? So, what will happen if we change this library, the original one, this one is the original one, right? So what we are doing, we are changing this uh, original DLL file with the this dynamic library, right? Having the same name, right? Same name, same path, but whatever the data in that is having different. So what will happen? It will execute the malicious one because we already paste it in the same path, having the same same name. That is why it is going to execute it. So in a very short, if I can say, we replaced with the original one. That's it. This is what the privilege escalation using DY live hijacking.